Welcome back to my channel, Cord Cutting in Sports. The 2024 NFL regular season schedule was just released a couple of days ago on May 15th, 2024. This video is just going to walk through and show you a breakdown of that schedule by service, first by week, and then also after that, talk a little bit about the total number of games that are going to appear on each service. So, like I said, first I'm going to have a breakdown. It's going to have a couple charts which show the number of games airing on the various channels or streaming services, and it'll also be basically broken down by week, but it'll have the total, for the entire season at the end. There'll be one with Sunday Ticket, one without Sunday Ticket, and then after that, I'll have just a couple more simpler charts, which will have each service show the total number of games that's available on each of those. So that would give you an idea of how many games you'd be able to watch if you subscribe to this service or if you get this channel, via an antenna or whatever. Okay, so here's a chart showing how all 272 regular season NFL games are broken up across, let's see here, it looks like 9 total different broadcast partners. So, actually, I guess technically 10 if Fox and CBS should be separate. So you have a total of 202 games that are going to be aired across Fox and CBS. So these are primarily Sunday afternoon games, your 1 o'clock, your 4:05, your 4:25. But there are also, of course, 2 Thanksgiving afternoon games. One on CBS, one on Fox. That's happening in week 13. And then there's also one extra Saturday afternoon game that Fox is airing in week 16 that's on a Saturday. And then, of course, you have NBC, which is going to air a total of 21 games, through its Sunday night football brand. But in addition to, a Sunday night game every week, it also is going to have a Thursday night game in week 1, opening game. Also in week 13, which is basically Thanksgiving night. And then again in week 16, it also got a Saturday game, just like Fox did, basically Saturday in late December. Peacock is going to have just one exclusive game, but of course, all the other NBC games will be available via, Peacock as well. But there's only one exclusive game that's airing, the Friday, the opening of the regular season after the opening night Thursday night football game. Then you have ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. So essentially like Monday Night Football. So ESPN is going to air 19 total games. That's basically one Monday Night Football game every week through the first 17 weeks. And then there are going to be, in week 18, there are going to be 2 games that are moved to Saturday. One in the afternoon, one at night. There is no, Monday Night Football in the final week of the regular season because of, issues with the rest, for the playoffs, which would be starting after that. Now, those games you see listed there in green, those weeks, the games are also going to be airing on ABC and ESPN Plus. So 4 of the Monday Night Football games will be available also on ABC or ESPN Plus, and then also those 2 games that are going to shift to Saturday in the last week of the season will be there as well. For ABC, so in addition to those 4 games, 4 Monday Night Football plus 2 Saturday, 6 games, ABC is also going to have 3 exclusive Monday Night Football games. Essentially, they're double headers. There's 2 games airing at the same time. So one's on ESPN, one is on ABC. Then ESPN Plus is going to have one exclusive game. It will be a Monday Night Football game this year. Last year, it was one of the international Sunday 9:30 a.m. games, but is not the case this year, as those are all going to be on NFL Network. That's going to happen in week 7. And of course, again, I mentioned that the weeks, the ones you see cells highlighted in green and the cells highlighted in blue, those games are also available on ESPN Plus as well. And that'll be covered again, like on a later slide with the summary. So for Thursday Night Football, there's basically going to be 16 total games that they're going to air. there's going to be a game every Thursday night except for the opening week. That game's on NBC. Um, the final week, week 18, there is no game because right now everything's all set up with no times scheduled, and they're gonna set the times based on what the playoff situation looks like. And then also week 13, Thanksgiving, there is no game that Thursday night because that game will be on NBC. However, the game that week 13 will instead air on Friday at 3 p.m. It's basically going to be, I believe, the Raiders at the Chiefs. So they have a Black Friday game again, like they did last year. NFL Network only going to have seven total games this year. Basically, weeks 5, 6, 7, and 10, they're going to have the Sunday morning 9:30 a.m. international game. And then on week 17, there's going to be a triple header that's airing. That's basically right before New Year's, I think December 29th. There's going to be, two afternoon games and then one also at night. So all three on NFL Network. And those are the seven games that'll air on that. Finally, Netflix is going to get two games to air on Christmas, Wednesday this year, which is December 25th. And those are the only two games that they'll be airing this season. Now, here's the same chart, but broke out the Fox and CBS games for those that you would get basically over the air, like you're in market on your local station, versus those you would have to get on Sunday Ticket. So, for example, now essentially like most weeks from Fox and CBS, you're going to get a total of three games. There's basically one network has a doubleheader, so you would get two, and then the other network would carry one game. So, that's three total. But of course, there's going to be exceptions to that because in week 13, you also have the two Thanksgiving Day games. In week 15, there's going to be a doubleheader on both networks. That's why there's a four there. Week 16, Fox has the extra one Saturday game, so that's why there's a four there. And then week 18, there's also a doubleheader on both networks. So one thing that is a little bit different compared to previous years is previously the first week of the season and the last week of the season would have a doubleheader on both CBS and Fox, i.e., you would get four total games among both networks, but that is not the case. That has shifted to week 15, which is in December for this year. So basically, you can see there's going to be 59 total games throughout the season that you would get on your local Fox or CBS stations if you were able to receive both of those. That means there's then 143 games that you would get via Sunday Ticket. So if you purchase NFL Sunday Ticket, you can see there, again, 143 total games throughout the regular season, and you can see how many there are each week. Some weeks when there's the buys and everything, it's as little as seven, or like in week 17 when you have the NFL Network triple header and you also have the Christmas games and so on. There's only going to be five games that Sunday Ticket would offer, but most weeks usually 7, 8, up to 10 games. Everything else here on the chart is pretty much the same, so I'm not going to talk about that. That was already covered on the previous slide, but I did just want to show this is the breakdown between local in-market Fox and CBS versus out-of-market, Sunday Ticket by week. Okay, so now let's talk about the services. So first, I'll go over a general overview of everyone, and then the next page will have again the info about the Sunday with Sunday Ticket included. So for CBS, there's going to be again 101 total games they're airing. Now, the reason I have the number of exclusive games for that is technically zero because you can either get CBS via an antenna or via whatever cable, satellite, streaming service, whatever, or you can also sign up for Paramount Plus. Okay, so the point is if you can't get CBS, well, then you can get Paramount Plus and you can watch the games there. If you can't get Paramount Plus, well, because I don't know, maybe whatever, you don't have internet or whatever, well, you could get them via CBS, via antenna. Fox, however, is going to air the same 101 total games, but they are exclusive to Fox because there's no other way to get those. They don't have a streaming service that they also, sell subscriptions to that provide the games. It's either you need Fox via antenna or cable, satellite, or streaming service. No other way to get it. All right, and then and now we have NBC and Peacock. So basically, there's one game that's exclusive to Peacock, Okay. Then there's 21 other games which will air on both NBC and Peacock. So that's why the exclusive for NBC is 0 and the exclusive for Peacock is 1 because the other 21 games, you could watch on either. It's the same thing with CBS and Paramount Plus. So you could either watch the other 21 games. If you get NBC, the point is you can watch 21 games, regardless of how you get it. Whereas if you get Peacock, you technically subscribe to it, you would have access to 22 total games to watch. Now, it gets to ESPN and ABC and ESPN Plus, it gets a little confusing. So notice these include like the overlaps. So there will be 13 total exclusive games on ESPN that you will need that channel via cable, satellite, streaming service in order to watch. However, there's going to be 19 total games you would be able to watch if you do receive ESPN. And now, same thing for ABC. There are no exclusive games to ABC because all of those can either be seen on ESPN or ESPN Plus, depending on which specific game it is. But ABC is going to air a total of 9 games this season. So if you can receive ABC via antenna or however you receive it, you'll be able to access to watch 9 NFL games. Similarly, ESPN Plus, basically, is 10 games. That's because it's the same 9 that are on ABC, but there is the one exclusive Monday Night Football game there. So basically, the ABC and ESPN Plus essentially overlap. It's just that ESPN Plus also has that one Monday night game, which is why it's 10 versus 9. Amazon, Prime for Thursday Night Football, it's pretty self-explanatory there. Now, just be aware those games do air for free on Twitch, either on the mobile app or on a desktop computer. You can go to a web browser and watch them there. You do not need to subscribe to Amazon Prime to watch those games. So just be aware of that. But if you do have a Prime subscription, you would be able to watch 16, total games throughout the regular season. NFL Network, again, there's basically 7 games. The only way you can watch them is with NFL Network, of course, unless you are in the local market of one of the 2 teams playing in it. This also applies to, by the way, Peacock, the Peacock exclusive game, the ESPN games, the ESPN Plus game, Amazon Prime, Netflix, all that stuff. Those it'll be on over-the-air stations, antenna channels in the markets of the 2 teams playing in any basically cable or streaming game. And then lastly, Netflix. You're going to have 2 games on Christmas, so the only way you can watch them again is if you have a subscription to Netflix. But of course, unless you're in one of the 2 markets for the teams playing in those games, 2 markets for each game. Now, here's the breakdown with Sunday Ticket included. So here you can see now if you have access to CBS or Paramount Plus, you'll be getting 29 total games throughout the regular season. If you have access to Fox, you'll be getting 30 total games throughout the regular season. That matches the 59 total that I had, on the one of the previous slides. And then you've got Sunday Ticket, which is 143 games, and the only way you can watch them, is via Sunday Ticket because they're out of market. And then all the other things there are basically the same, so I'm not going to bother talking about them all again, but just wanted to show this as a breakdown for CBS versus Fox, the local in-market games versus, the ones that are then part of Sunday Ticket. So this is basically part of my, NFL cord cutting series. We'll have lots of new videos and also my cord cutting guide once it gets closer to the start of the season. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Reach out to me via email or check out my website as well, where I post links to my cord cutting guides.